All right, we are live. Thank you all for being here. Since we just got kicked off here, as folks filter in here, I just wanted to first and foremost thank you for being here. As is usually the case, I would like to ask, how does the audio sound? I'm getting pretty good at the audio setup here with the brand new mic and everything. But as always, somebody let me know in the chat. How's the audio sound? I'm gonna assume it sounds good. I'm gonna assume I'm not muted. Um, so with that, let me just do a few housekeeping things. Oh, good. Thank you very much. So we had our live stream yesterday afternoon, and we got one obviously tonight. And we had the classes, the training classes that start on Sunday evenings. They are going to be somewhere between 5 to 8 p.m., somewhere in that range, Central. Probably 5 to 7 p.m. Central because I'm Eastern time zone. That I don't want to be too late for that. I still had that to nail down, and I'm probably going to talk to those of you who are signed up for it, find out what the best time is there. But so Sunday night, our very first live stream training session using the method that we're going to some ideas we're going to talk about tonight. Just so you know, twice a week is about what our normal schedule is. We have our Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday afternoon is completely different. That is Godly Trading Podcast. We used to call it Bible Study for Traders. It's more trading oriented. We're going through the book based on the fruit of the Spirit. But we also have these webinars that come up from time to time, as well as our, starting with Sunday night, our regular live stream training sessions. And those are going to be a combination of some presentations and a lot of interaction there. So with that, let me first and foremost let everybody know that Enterprise in the chat for the giveaway. I'm going to show you here in just a second what we're doing with that. Guys, I think I have a problem with when it comes to these giveaways. I may have developed an addiction. But anyhow, let us jump right in and talk about the big thing that's happened this week. So, yeah, we had an election. I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah, we had an election. And blessedly, mercifully, we are done now with that. So you might ask yourself, well, what now? The environment is about the same, right? As of right now, ultimately the environment is different, but the mission is still the same. What I meant to say: the environment is different, but the mission is still the same. What is that mission? Well, our objective here at Godly Trading is to help you strengthen your family without sacrificing your time or wasting your money. And if you came into this training session through one of the non-trading oriented portals, you may be saying, "Hey, this is Godly Trading?" And what am I? I'm sort of lost here. We're going to cover a lot tonight beyond just trading. There's so many opportunities. We mentioned, the environment's the same, but the mission, the environment is different, but the mission is the same. By the way, as always, stay to the end. I've got a prize giveaway, as well as a special offer for anybody who does just one little thing on social media. You got a really special offer, as a matter of fact. But before we get to that, I want to show you this. Hang on, let me turn that off. I'm going to show you this, guys. And yes, I do have a problem. So I find these gadgets, and this is a multi-tool. This thing is just cool. All right. So it's got a knife. All right. By the way, did anybody know that possession of a blade in the United Kingdom under the age of 18, or giving a blade to someone who's under the age of 18 is punishable by 5 years in prison? Great Scott. I was talking to a fellow over there today, and I said, "Hey, I'm giving this away." He said, "Well, you better put a disclaimer on that, because if over here, if we give one of those away to a 17-year-old, we're going to jail." Anyway, it's got a knife on it, but it's got your screwdriver, bottle cap opener. Hang on, where is it? Here on the front. Oh, nope, that's the knife. That's sharp. Here it is. Oh, this is fantastic. I don't know, I'm getting sidetracked. Oh, it's got pliers, and it's got a set of bits that go with it, that go on the bit drive. It's just the coolest. I love Harbor Freight. Actually, there's a video There's a video on YouTube that my family says I am not allowed to watch by myself. It's 20 tools you should be buying at Harbor Freight this month. I so desperately want to watch that video by myself. They can find all kind of cool things to give away here, but I've been told I have to be chaperoned. So, stay to the end. We've got a couple of prizes to give away, but also, again, a big offer that I've got for everybody for just one small ask on social media. Back to the topic at hand. What is what we're doing? Oh, that is sharp. Cut this off. What does the election have to do with what we've been talking about here? This idea of creating an inheritance for your children's children. This is one thing that my eyes are being opened to on a daily basis. Everything is an opportunity because everything affects our families. This is kind of that idea of, you can look at something as a setback or something as an opportunity. You lose your job, and so you start a business, those kinds of things. But because everything that happens around us and everything that happens to us affects our family. Oh, man. Excuse me here. I really am bleeding. Live TV or live streaming. So as the world starts to calm down from the election, a window is going to open of opportunity for you. And what I want to do is I want to help you see those opportunities around it. So there are two great stories from the Bible. Well, there's lots of great stories from the Bible. I hate to call them stories, lessons. I mentioned in our last live stream about Hagar and Ishmael, and the fact that they didn't know that she was prepared to die because they were going to, didn't have any water. And the angel says, "Hey, right there." But the one that maybe more people know, Abraham takes Isaac up on Mount Moriah. Mount Moriah, right? Somebody correct me if it's not Mount Moriah. To sacrifice Isaac, his only son. God says, "Don't do it." Hey, look, there's a ram with its horns caught in the thicket over there. There's your sacrifice. Here's the resource that I have provided for you. You just didn't know it was there. Now, one of two things is possible. Either, I guess one of three things. Either the ram had just gotten his horns caught, or this was the quietest trapped ram in all of human history. How did they not know this thing was there? We used to have sheep. Sheep are not quiet when things go wrong in their world. So anyway, God had provided for them an opportunity, resource and opportunity was there. They just hadn't opened their eyes to see it. So what am I talking about? Well, world markets and world economies and the world around us, economically speaking, thrives on predictability. And you might not like Trump, you might love him, you might hate him, but we've been here before, so we kind of know what to expect. Now, sure, some things are gonna be different, but most of them, more or less, we know what we're going to expect. That means that the next few years offers an opportunity, actually a pretty rare opportunity. We had this change in government, but not really, because we know what's coming. We know kind of what to expect. Now, you may have tried some things in the past that didn't work out. That doesn't mean that they failed. If you have tried to start a business before, if you have tried to be a multi-level marketer, if you tried something before and it didn't work out, that doesn't mean that you failed. Also, most importantly, it doesn't make you a failure. Right? When I was a teenager, I tried to lift 200 pounds bench press. Wasn't able to do it. Didn't make me a failure. It just meant that this body was not designed for bench pressing. But we often think that we especially we as fathers, and just to give you the heads up, I'm going to use the term fathers interchangeably with anyone who is responsible for their family. And I'm going to use family to mean any group of people that is dependent on you for financial support, emotional support, even if it's just direction, right? That's whatever your family means to you. If they look to you, then I'm just going to refer to you as fathers, even if you are a woman and you're single. And I'm sorry, I can't, I can't. This is how I'm going to refer to you tonight. So, folks, you individually, Have you ever felt like that before? Have you ever felt like a failure? You tried something. Maybe you poured your heart and soul into it and it didn't work out. Maybe you just tried it offhand and it didn't work out. Maybe it's some relationship. Maybe it's just something in life. Have you ever felt like a failure? Specifically, as a father. Oh my goodness. How many times have I failed my children and I've done something, and when I was done, I'm like, why did I do that? Yes, you feel like I'm not even going to touch the second one, right? Husband or wife, have you ever felt like a failure as a spouse, as a friend? Um, as a when I was unemployed for 6 months, you talk about feeling like a failure at all of these, as a husband, as a provider, as a father, just totally. I mean, it's just you can't seem to get out from under it. It's just a black cloud that follows you around. This was one interesting. My father-in-law, who has passed on now, from time to time, years ago, I've been married for 30 years, so it was a while ago. There were times when he could make me feel like a failure as a son-in-law. You're not providing for my daughter. You're not doing this for my daughter. There's so many areas in life where doubt and discouragement, where we are just jumped on by the enemy, and we are supposed to be made to feel like a failure because that keeps us from doing what we're supposed to, what God has intended for us. And by and large, it is not your fault. Thomas Edison, again, I'm going to say this, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, because I have a bad habit of attributing quotes to people who didn't say it. But I'm reasonably sure Thomas Edison said the 99 failures or 100 failures or whatever, inventing that light bulb, he didn't fail 100 times. He discovered 100 ways not to invent the light bulb. Reasonably sure he said that, something similar. It's not this idea that, hey, I'm a failure, I have failed at this thing. It's not your fault. We are conditioned, sadly, from childhood almost, to see setbacks as personal, not attacks, but as a personal indictment about us as a person. It's one of the reasons I have a hard time. That I really, 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 if you're in my trading group, if you're in my trading videos, I don't want to refer to trade wins and trade losses as wins and losses, right? If you change your language, you can change your mindset. I love this one. We were all warned for as far back as I can remember about a get-rich-quick scheme. Watch out for the get-rich-quick schemes. No one warned us about the stay broke for the rest of your life, stay broke slowly schemes. Just the one scheme, actually. I saw this the other day and it's a meme form and I couldn't find it again. But I'm just going to recreate it and say it's mine. Most people won't spend 3 years building their own business, but they'll spend 40 years working for somebody else's. So I'm going to say something here, and I hope I don't lose everybody. So what's the thing called? Trigger warning? Controversial statement coming up here. So cover your eyes, cover your ears if you don't want to hear a controversial statement. The American dream, that if you grew up in America, if you're my age or slightly older or slightly younger, you probably grew up with part of this idea that the American dream is to get a good job and buy a house and work for 40 years and retire and then play golf, I guess. But that American dream that was sold to us, I don't want to say it was a lie, only because I don't want to say it out loud. We were never meant to live like this. There's a great preacher on YouTube. His name is Bishop Wayne Malcolm. He's British. And he said that he has scoured the Bible and he can only find like 2 or 3 or 4. No, it's not him. It's Myron Golden. Job titles in the Bible, right? You had slave, soldier, and day laborer, and everybody else owned their own business. But we Americans were raised, hey, find someone else to work for and work for them for the rest of your life and then retire. Make sure you get a house. So become an indentured servant. I didn't use the word slave because we're not supposed to do that anymore. And go into debt and stay in debt. Is this what you want? I mean, can you imagine if you explain this to your average Klingon, right? The logic of this, they'd be like, what? The best insurance you can have for your family, best insurance you could ever have, is to not Live the American dream. I'm going to say that quietly because it sounds very controversial to say it. Don't live the American. Don't get a job and go out and get a really big expensive house or even moderately. Oh goodness, these days, expensive and moderately sized are opposite ends of the spectrum. The best insurance you can have for your family is to have multiple streams of it. Develop multiple streams of income, and as you're working on one, as you get it, as you sort of get over the hump of learning and developing your skills, then you start on the next. What am I talking about here? So here's the ones that are the most common, and honestly, we are godly trading. So trading's on here. Ultimately, and a lot of you may have come into this. By the way, if you came into this training session through one of the ads that it said "Godly Family Man," give me a thumbs up if that's even possible. Can you give a thumbs up in the chat? Just say me or yes or something like that in the chat. This godly trading is step one, but ultimately we're working our way towards Godly Family Man, where we're doing all of these. Trading is just part of it. We're going to get to why trading in just a minute, but trading is just part of it. But we want to develop all of these so that if any one of them fails, especially number one, then, fantastic. Then you have the other ones to fall back on. Because I am prime example. Lost my job, had a good job, enjoyed my job, more or less. I'm a landscape architect by original profession. And I had a job doing that, landscaping and stuff. And anyway, long story short, I spent 6 months unemployed. Now, God saw us through that. Didn't miss a meal, didn't miss a house payment. It was a learning experience. But it also taught me that I don't ever want to be dependent on one of these. Now, can you imagine, just for the sake of argument, I know a lot of people who are self-employed. My father, we're going to get to my father in a little bit. My father was self-employed my entire life. I got a good friend at church, self-employed. And and I used to have my own landscaping business, self-employed. I was really blessed. God gave me the opportunity to have 3 separate businesses with my children, my 2 boys, through different stages of their growth and development. We had a small farm when they were much younger. That's when I sent them out to milk the cow in the snow. That was this deep. Nope, that was that deep. And then we had a landscaping business, and now we have this. So anyway, my buddy has said, no, there's a fine line between self-employed and unemployed. But can you imagine, just for sake of argument, that you were a realtor, that was your job, or you were you traded for a living, or you had this business for a living, and you lost it? People would say, well, you can't just rely on that one source of income. But yet we do that with our jobs, don't we? That is exactly what we do. We say, I'm going to have my entire family, their financial future rooted and founded in Acme. And man, I hope Acme doesn't go belly up, because they are the only thing I've got to put my kids through college. So we are here to develop all of these in a particular way. There's just, where do you start? This is my favorite. No, it's not. I can't say what my favorite story is. Actually, I can say what my favorite story is. And at some point, I will tell you my favorite story. It is a sad story in the Bible. It's about King Josiah. But anyway, Moses and the Giant Tabernacle Set. Sounds like James and the Giant Peach. Has anyone ever seen the movie Moses and the Giant Tabernacle Set? So I got AI to give me some videos here. I'm going to take my head away and show you these. I love this. So I said, hey, show me a picture of a guy building the Ark of the Covenant. And I swear this is a guy going, this is my 3rd attempt. I can't stand it. It must die. I'm going to kill it. Start over again. I mean, the guy building the Ark of the Covenant here is just not having a good day. So God gives Moses directions. Hey, build all these things for the Ark and for the tabernacle, individual spots and individual pieces. And Moses has no idea how to do that. And they've been, slaves for 400 years and been hauling rocks. There's not a whole lot of carpenters in the bunch. Well, maybe there's a few. But God provides. He says, I'm going to more or less supernaturally give people in the audience, hey, this guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, I'm going to give them the knowledge on how to build these things. And so he does, and they do, and they build all this stuff. And then Moses is like, hey, great, now I've got a giant, here, let me show you. This one is much better. I got a giant DIY tabernacle set. And much like tonight's question, now what? And God says, Don't worry. Get those guys and have them do this bit. And those people over there, they're going to do this bit. They're going to do it in this order, and that goes first, that goes on top, and gives them all the instructions. Tells what order to put in. And, I mean, if you're not a left brain person, if you're a puzzle worker, if you're an engineer, if you got that left brain and you put together Legos, maybe you look at that thing and go, that's paradise, right? My wife would look at that and hyperventilate. She's like, where I can't. So anyway, a lot of times, especially as providers, we think, yeah, I hear you. There's so many opportunities out there. I have no idea where to start. What do I do? For a lot of people, and I have some in my family, both my wife and my oldest child are like this. Having too many choices is worse than having no choices. They want two, right? Let me pick between two, not 5. So in this list here, where do you start? Well, we're gonna get to all of them, and I say we, not you and me individually, but we as a group, we're gonna get to all of these. Why does that keep flashing at me? To start with, though, start with the easiest ones, right? Low hanging fruit, they always call that. Of this list, the easiest ones to get started with are trading and social media. Though again, I'm going to show you some opportunities that aren't that far apart from trading and social media on how to get started. If you wanted to get started in real estate, well, I don't, okay, fine. I hear you buy a duplex and live in half of it. That's what Robert Kiyosaki would say, and he's not wrong. But, yes, the interest rates came down today, 0.25%, but how many of us can afford the duplex? A lot of folks are just stuck renting. When it comes to investing, okay, great. Tesla's $150 a share. I can buy 2 shares. Woohoo! But there are alternate ways to do that, and we're going to get to that. I've got stuff to show you, and I'm really excited to show you these things, but trying to pace myself. We're going to stick to the ones that I showed here. So of the options listed, the easiest ones to start with are trading and social media. All of my phones are plugged in doing a thing, but imagine I had a phone in my hand. If you've got a mouth and a phone these days, you can have a social media platform and you can earn money doing that. We're going to get there, just not tonight. So, in my opinion, trading is the place to start first and foremost. So by the end of this session here, I'm going to show you this framework. And if you've been in a couple of webinars before, it's going to be familiar to you. But we're going to show you how you can apply this. As long as I don't get off track, now keep me on target here. If I start chasing rabbits, if I turn into Doug from Up, who really is Pepper from Up, but they refuse to name him after me because that was a copyright thing and I don't talk about it. But anyway, by the end of this training, I want to show you how you can apply this framework I'm going to show you, not just trading. Sorry, my computer over here just suddenly started talking to me. I'm not quite sure why. Did I hit a button, guys? Did anybody else hear that? My audio came on. I don't just hang on. So the comments. Does anybody else hear the music playing that was in the beginning right now? And I hope not. So why do I hear it? Oh, I know why I hear it. It's on YouTube and Facebook because they're in the background. Y'all, I apologize. Hey, live TV. Fantastic. Back to where we were. So we're going to show you how you can apply what I'm going to show you tonight to all of these. We're going to start with trading. I can point you in some resources on social media if you're interested in that. And I think, okay, I'm gonna get distracted for just give me 2 minutes, no, a minute and a half, 45 seconds. I think every single person has knowledge in their head that they don't value because it's in their head, not somebody else's head. I told a buddy of mine, a dear pastor friend of mine up north, said, "Look, dude, you love using your chainsaw on the weekends. That's how you decompress." I said, "I have tried sharpening my chainsaw. My Christianity is not strong enough to survive me trying to sharpen my chainsaw." You can put videos of just how to sharpen chainsaws, and people would, millions of guys like me would watch that. So everybody out there, yes. I'll do this because look at that. I managed to learn a new trick tonight. Yes, absolutely. there are so many. There's a video out there. Has anybody ever seen the? It's like a little glass bottle of salt or pepper, right? And it's got the grinding attachment already built in. There's a video out there on YouTube. It's got over 2 million views of a guy showing how to take the top off and refill the bottle. I kid you not. So I'll show you some resources on how you can start your social media income on the side. That's probably the fastest one to get started with, but you do have to have a certain level of courage to just hit the record button and go. But we're going to get to trading. Who's this for? We've talked about it already tonight. This is for people that I'm going to lump sum call fathers, heads of households, people who are struggling, people who want more for their families, whatever family means to them. My 23-year-old has a group of friends, and he's the responsible one. Bless their hearts, he's the responsible one. Hope he never watches this. All right, that's his family. Well, no, we're his family, but I mean, if he was off on his own, if we died in a horrible plane crash, that would be his family, and he's responsible for them. So it's for people who this training is just for people who have a feeling of an idea of responsibility for someone else, and they want more for that, whoever it is. Again, it's not for people who want to get rich quick. This get rich quick. This is gonna take time and effort, guys. Now, this is not manual labor, but this is going to take work. You're gonna have to exercise the most under-exercised muscle in your body, which is your brain, which is not a muscle at all. And it's not for people for who say, you know what, I'm comfortable where I am. And I say this a lot, and you're gonna hear me say it a lot. Talking to you, and you know who I'm talking to. If nothing changes, nothing's gonna change. You've got your family, and you want to go home at night or go home in the morning, whenever you get off of work, and you want to sit down and like, I'm just done for the day. My brain is checked out. I just want to just decompress and go to bed. And okay, I have spent time with the kids. I have spent time with my spouse. Not necessarily. I'm talking to anybody who thinks I'm talking to them. And you think I don't want to, all right? But you have to get up off of the couch, get up off of the chair, grab the laptop, and watch that instructional video. Build that website. Place those trades. Email those customers. Whatever business, whatever side stream of income, this requires your willingness to change. And man, is that hard. They say it takes 3 weeks to develop a new habit. I don't know if I have heard. Has anybody heard that before? And correct me if I'm wrong. Has anybody heard it takes 3 weeks to develop a new habit? Don't know why that is. There's a biochemical thing that I've heard and explained and don't understand it. But I have not yet heard how long it takes to undo a habit. But anyway, it takes 3 weeks to develop a new habit. Sure, fine. Let's just take that as a scientific fact. But there's something about developing a new habit that just stretches time that makes the first week feel like a month. It just, anyway, this takes courage and want to-ness, not a word, to change. Speaking of change, if you've seen this before, you haven't seen this before. Trading changed my life in a couple of different ways. And I'm going to get to the second one in just a minute because it was very unexpected in how trading changed my life. And you think, oh, yeah, by the way, y'all type in the word prize if you want a chance to win either the mug, Yeti mug, or the incredibly sharp multi-tool. Don't forget to do that. So I was not expecting this other way. So backstory, I'm just a regular guy with a wife and 2 dogs. And at one point, wife, 2 dogs, 4 cows, 5 chickens, and a horse. I can't not do this. So the cows were mine. Dear, love the cows. Broke my heart when we had to sell them because we moved to a spot that's 100% tree covered, not a blade of grass. We had to get rid of the wife's horse also. And said, well, why'd your wife have a horse? My wife was a homeschool mom. Horse was a life-saving horse. What do I mean by that? when the boys got to the point where she wanted to murder them, she would go outside and brush her horse's mane. So the horse kept her from committing a couple of felonies. Although I think in the state of Mississippi, the mom says, I brought you into this world. I can take you out. I think in the state of Mississippi, you can actually legally take out your kids if they annoy you too much. I'm pretty sure that's a law here, just in this one state. Just a regular guy, floating through life, backed up from time to time by my father, who was my biggest champion on all things entrepreneur. And again, my dad was a serial entrepreneur. He wouldn't have called himself an entrepreneur. He would have called himself a small business owner. Even though every day it's like, what new business can I start? And we lost him in 2015. It was not unexpected, cancer. And so you kind of, when time is coming. But still, I said, okay, he was dedicated to my family and the other two, their families. What can I do to honor him? I can do whatever it takes to take care of my family and to give my family more. And so took that little bit of life insurance money from him and put it into trading, because I'd been trading off and on my whole life, just dabbling, hobby, not very serious. But now I'm going to be serious, or so I thought. And how do you sign up? Just type in the word prize by itself. Give me 1 second, Harry. It's highly possible that you type it in the word prize has already entered you, even though the prize was, I think it probably has already. Do it again. Just type in the word prize. Let me see if that number goes up. Because I'm pretty sure the first one did it for you. So when he died, I thought, I'm going to take this money and invest it in a way that will benefit my family. And I, much like the ill-named character from Up, Doug, I would jump from thing to thing to thing, book to book, idea to idea, never sticking, and that money started just going downhill, and was beset. Nope, stayed where it was. So apparently asking the question, how do I sign up for the prize, was typing in the word prize, put you in the entry. So it's nice to know that it works that way. So here I am, feeling like I'm killing my father. Cancer took my father, but I'm just killing his memory, because he gave this money so that, he died for this money, and this money was for his grandkids and my family, and I'm just losing it. And so I'm trading and I'm trying and I'm just miserable. And driving to work one day, God was with me and waiting for a break in the you ever beat yourself up so much that you can't stop, right? It's almost, we all had that radio in our head that says you can't do it, you're not enough, you're a failure. But do you ever do that to yourself? I know what I did. I know I'm a failure. I know I can't do this. I know. It's like the devil doesn't need the radio anymore. He's like, you're doing a better job than I could do. I'm gonna go over here. And you're just beating yourself up. Well, God was waiting for a break in that conversation that I was having with myself. And finally, he's like, aren't you tired of feeling this way? Aren't you tired of doing this to yourself? Yes, I was. Well, here's a little tip, Pepper. You might think that you're doing all of this for your family. That may have been the intent. But the minute someone asked you about it, the minute you had any semblance of success, this whole thing became about you. Has anybody here ever read the book of Daniel in the Bible? Has anybody ever heard the story of King Nebuchadnezzar? I love this. Nebuchadnezzar's in his palace one morning, almost a year after he had been given a prophecy that says, by the way, you're going to lose your kingdom. They're going to take your throne from you. You're going to be out eating grass with the cows. Lost your mind, right? So a year later, Nebuchadnezzar is in his palace talking to who knows who, right? Because it wasn't talking, there's nobody else in the story. They wasn't talking to a servant. That's not what they did back then. You don't carry on a conversation with Bob, the foot washer. So he says, is this not I, Nebuchadnezzar, my kingdom? And look at this great kingdom, Babylon. Look what I have done for my kingdom and my blah, blah, me, my. And it says before he could even finish talking, God said, hey, to you it has been, I'm going to mangle the story. Basically, God says, time's up. prophecies kicking in. And within an hour, he was out of his mind, out of his palace, and out back with the cows eating grass. All because he had made it all about him. I had made this attempt at being the provider for my family all about me and not my family. Boy, it's a trap, right? I would put Admiral Akbar in here, but that's copyrighted, and Disney, don't mess with Disney. Disney owns Lucasfilm, right? Yeah, that's right. They're destroying it. So after a lot of talk back and forth, mostly forth, I said, I'm sorry. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna redo everything about the way I'm trading and about the way I approach taking care of my family going forward. Yes, trading for now, but going forward, it's going to be other things. And I'm going to do them in this way that honors God first and foremost and honors my family and takes the spotlight off of me. Guys, let me do this thing here. You cannot be the center of your own world. Gravity does not work that way. I love learning about mindset when it comes to trading. Trading mindset is key. It's the number one thing that makes you successful. I was listening to a video that I was driving my work truck and I was listening to this video that a buddy of mine had given me. And the speaker is saying, all right, so here's what you do. Imagine walking into a stadium full of different versions of yourself and go find the version of you that is successful and go up to that version of you and hug that person. And they're going to tell you that you're okay and that they forgive you. And there's all this back and forth between you and yourself and fill that hole in you with the perfect stuff. And I'm literally ranting out loud by myself in my truck to the radio, to the speaker. It's like I feel the Holy Spirit want to poke his hand through my chest like from Indiana Jones and smack the guy on the head. I know, you idiot. If the problem is you, the solution cannot be more of you. All right? You are not the solution to your own problem. So I had to realize that I was the author of my own demise, and the only way to fix the problem was to get me out of the way. And that's when I started down the road of developing this idea here. This framework that can be applied to that entire list that we just went through. And so I'm going to show you this in the area of trading, but I want you to think of trading as the training wheels. I want you to think of trading as your practice run, your proving ground, right? We have to apply it somewhere. We could absolutely apply this to social media and use this method. We can apply it to real estate. We can apply it to building a side business. I'm doing that right now. That's what you're seeing before you. But I picked trading because I think trading is just the best place to start. Trading helps you develop the skills you need that are then there, just magically there. And when you want to step out into real estate, when you want to step out into business. So these 3 pillars, and if I've talked about them before, I'm going to talk about them for the rest of my life. Because when you've been given something, it's just, you can't help but speak it. Faith, mastery, and purpose. And you can put these in any order, but I like to put it in this order: that faith, your belief in what you are doing. That's the foundation stones under your feet. It's also the path that you're walking. Your mastery of whatever arena that you are in. That is the map that tells you where to go and what to do next. That is so critical. We had this so often that, okay, I had this idea, but I don't know what to do next. You're mastering your craft. Was anybody here on Saturday evening when I juggled unsuccessfully and they hit my keyboard and then bad things happened? Did anybody witness that abject embarrassment of my lack of mastery of this craft? I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to back up and I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way. All right. Mastery is simply doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result. And oftentimes, like me and juggling, and I haven't done it in 25 years, oftentimes we just give up when bad things happen. Like having a webinar crash on you. All right, you get the point. I'm going to stop now. Or bad things happen. Mastering your craft it's a lost art, but it's what tells you what to do next. And I can't tell you how many people I have run across that freeze because they don't know what to do next. It's a travesty. I'm gonna have to speed up here, guys, because either I'm not talking fast enough or you're not listening fast enough. And I choose not to blame me. And then purpose is the most important element that is left out all the time. Don't forget why you're doing this. I mentioned before, you get home from work, whether it's 7 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock at night, and you think, I'm tired, I just want to watch TV and go to bed. Your purpose is what says, no, these kids that are running around are more important than the next hour of NCIS or doom scrolling. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to do what I don't want to do. I'm going to quickly run through these. When I say faith, I do both mean your spiritual faith. This is Godly Trading. I'm using biblical principles. The book that I wrote and that we go over on Wednesday afternoons is based on the fruit of the Spirit. And so there's nothing there that's going to that anybody can object to. I'm just going to make that blanket statement. If you are I usually use the Klingon religion, but I'm going to be specific tonight. If you are a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Jew or a Scientologist, if you're a Scientologist, bless your heart, let us know. We'll pray for you. There's nothing about love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control that runs afoul of your religion. So yes, I do mean having a spiritual foundation that helps you with these, but above and beyond that, okay, not beyond that. In addition to that, I mean belief that these 4 things, this is where you start. Sunday night, when we start our training class, we're starting with number 1. It is necessary. You think, well, that's obvious. No, it's not. Every training course I've ever seen, every training course I've ever taken, just blows right past it. They walk into it assuming that you have these nailed down. Guys, and I'm trying not to generalize by saying guys, I'm speaking to individuals here. If you don't build the foundation, everything else is going to crumble. Your mastery sits on this. Learning a skill falls apart when you don't have this nailed down. Number 1, it is necessary. Number 2, it will work. Whatever it is, we're talking about trading. It absolutely will work. It is not a scam. Yes, there are people out there who do scam, but the same is true of everything in the world. There's a scam artist for every profession out there. You can absolutely do this. If I can juggle poorly, and I haven't done it since I was 15. How long ago was that? I said 25 years. Moving on. You can do it too. Trading is a skill. Anyone can trade. I mention it all the time. The documentary of the French philosopher Gusteau, misunderstood as a child's cartoon. Anyone can cook. Anyone can trade. It's just a skill. You can do it. And you can do it first and foremost, primarily because you're not alone in this. Now, again, it's necessary. It'll work. You can do it. You're not alone. Applies to trading. Does it apply to finding distressed property and buying it and improving it and renting it out? Yes, absolutely. Most people think, well, that's never going to work. All right? Does it apply to investing in dividend stocks? Or oh my goodness, guys, I'm not going to get sidetracked. I refuse to get sidetracked. Let me get sidetracked just a little bit. My buddy had something I want to show y'all. It is. I'm so excited in the area of investing. It is the very definition of passive income. Put your money in, and every month money spits back out at you. It's just basically income generating ETFs. Stuff that we all have heard of, S&P, that kind of thing. I'm not getting sidetracked. Can you apply these to that? Yes, absolutely. It is necessary. It will work, and you can do it. These things, I have been building this business for the last 6 months, in this new version of it, at least. And every day I get that radio in my head that says, it's not that important. It's not going to work. And you can't do this because you're all alone. I'm telling you, we get attacked in the very areas that should be strengths. Mastery is a lost art. And it's not a lost art. Mastery is a lost priority. People think I get a little knowledge, I get a little skill. Hey, I don't need to learn to trade. Just let me buy or get or build or borrow a trading algorithm. It'll do it all for me. That is a lie. I have seen so many people lose so much money obtaining, one way or another, a trading robot, giving it their money, and it's gone. You still have to know what you're doing. You still have to have a full amount of knowledge, if for no other reason. You've got to be able to judge if it's working or not. Skill. When I was in landscape architecture college, I went to LSU and landscape architecture program. We started out learning how to draft with ink and pens and stuff that we never ever used, because they said you have to have the knowledge and the skill of the basics before we will let you loose on computer design, CAD work. And then these last two, patience and discipline, they're so universally critical. And developing these, this is why I thought that trading changed my life. It was in developing discipline and developing patience. In some instances, having the patience to have patience. You ever had that situation where you need to be displaying patience, but you don't have the patience to get to there before you can display that? I mean, it's like, my wife has this great phrase she says all the time. She gets up in the morning, she's a coffee drinker, right? She stumbles out of bed, she goes in the kitchen, and I sometimes find her in the kitchen with her empty coffee pot, just sort of staring at the wall. And she says, there are days I need my coffee to have the mental capacity to make my coffee, right? There are days I need patience so that I can then have patience. Do you know what I'm trying to say here? Does that make sense? Developing discipline and patience, learning the skill of learning a skill, is the most important thing that changed my life when it came to trading. Trading taught me these fundamentals that are interchangeable with everything else out there. Patience and discipline. Again, Paul, writing to his buddies in the church in Galatia, he said, hey guys, the fruit of the flesh is all of these horrible things. Man, Paul loved him a list. Every single one of his letters has a list of something in there. If he had Excel back then, Paul would absolutely have used an Excel spreadsheet. Bible according to Pepper. But he says, hey guys, Galatia, I loved you, but look, the fruit of the Spirit, what's inside of you is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Patience and self-control. Self-control is discipline. That's all it is. Long suffering is patience. Learning to master these and applying that learning, that ability to learn how to do something. It was one of the most unexpected things we learned, my wife and I learned as being homeschool parents, was that you don't actually end up teaching your kids. You teach your kids to teach themselves, right? The biggest thing you can do for your kids is to teach them how to learn on their own. So that one day you can say, hey, you want to learn Spanish? There's a book. Go read it. Go learn Spanish. Absolutely. I mean, you're more of a coach at the end of the teacher, but it's the skill of learning how to develop a skill, of starting off with, where can I get the knowledge? How can I practice? And how can I build patience and discipline to support all that? It's universal. This is why I say trading changed my life, because it helped me build these things. And then this was what was missing on that drive to work that day. I can still remember where I was on the road. I remember where I was on the road when I was screaming at my TV and my radio. Does anybody ever have those moments where something important happened and you know exactly where you were when it happened? You can remember what it was on the radio. You can remember what you had for breakfast that morning. It's just this moment in time that's just embedded in every detail. I say that. I take that back. I only remember where I was, how I felt, and the gloom around me. I couldn't tell you if there was cars on the road, but I know exactly where it was on the planet when it happened. I had lost my purpose. And purpose is what why bother if you don't have a family to take care of? If it's just you, and it's only ever going to be just you, why are we getting up in the morning, right? Why are we bothering to again? You're sitting. You just got home from work. You're sitting in your easy chair. You've got the remote in one hand and a milkshake in the other, and that's all you want to do. Your purpose, your family. That's what has you put both of those down and grab the book and start reading. Without it, you spend the rest of your life with a milkshake and a remote in your hand and nothing happens. Your family is going to be your purpose, however you define family. It's gonna be, it is almost impossible once you have been given that responsibility. And as was pointed out to me earlier, I said in the description here that it's all on you. God is here to support you. We are here to support you. It often feels, though, that it is all on you. When I was unemployed, everybody else in my family was employed. Boy, I tell you what, having your 15-year-old and your 13-year-old, 15-year-old and 13-year-old working. My 15-year-old was working 60 hours a week at the movie theater. They actually had to have a policy at Malco that says that minors cannot work 60 hours a week. Everybody around me was working, and once you had that, once you've been given that responsibility, these guys are my guys, and my responsibility. You can't undo it. You can't unsee things. You can't unfeel things. So it often feels like it's all on us. That if it doesn't get done, if we don't do it, it's not going to get done. Which is why so often we as providers, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should switch from fathers to providers. Doesn't quite roll off the tongues because everything else is family, financial future, and alliteration and whatnot. We often feel like we don't deserve to be fulfilled. It's okay that we hate our jobs because that's just our lot in life. But no, you can absolutely find fulfillment in what you're doing. Because guess what? You are not going to start a business that you hate. You are not going to buy real estate that you hate. You're not going to pick a city, an apartment complex in a city that you hate. You're going to find fulfillment when you're pursuing these businesses on your own. I find an amazing amount of fulfillment trading Forex. Yes, I know. I'm the most boring person on the planet. Watching the Euro US do its thing. Okay, the Euro is not too bad. Watching the Euro Swiss do its thing is just absolutely boring. I love it. Right? Some people think, well, I'm going to invest in startup companies. I'm going to buy small apartment complexes so that I can provide affordable housing for people. You're going to find fulfillment in these that you did not know was possible. Has anybody ever heard the term lagniappe? Is anybody here from Louisiana? Anybody ever passed through Louisiana? Anybody here ever eaten shrimp? I mean, there's a term called lagniappe, a little something extra for free. That's what this fulfillment is. You don't even realize that it's going to happen. And frankly, it comes from serving others. The prayer from First Kings, or possibly Second Kings. No, it's First Kings, right? Because it starts off with David, Saul, then David, then Solomon. First Kings. Solomon prays to God. I'm boiling this down. Lord, give me the wisdom to do this job you gave me to do, and to serve these people you gave me to serve in a way that honors you. Right? Serving other people. It's a hard thing, but that is our calling, and we find fulfillment when we do that. And then this all leads to the freedom that was the goal at the beginning. When we finally wake up and we put down the milkshake and we put down the remote and say, I want more for my family. I want to be able to say, hey guys, we're going on a trip around the world tomorrow, go pack. I want that freedom to tell my boss, take this job and shove it. I do believe that's Johnny Paycheck. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive that's Johnny Paycheck's song. We all want freedom to say, I want the freedom to wake up in the morning and go to bed that night and not be miserable at any point during the day. Wouldn't that be an amazing amount of freedom? So this framework here, these 12, 15 things, it is so interchangeable with anything. And we got a method in I'm going to be showing you on how you can specifically apply this to trading. First and foremost, guys, I can't stress it enough that trading it is so easy to start, and that's why I'm starting with trading, because anybody can go sign up for a Schwab demo account or E-Trade or Awanda, which is what I love doing. $10, and you can start trading tonight, and you can trade in your spare time on your phone. It's so easy to do. The same can be said for social media. There is more of an emotional hurdle because you pour your heart and soul into a video or a live stream and no one watches it, and it takes its toll. The momentum is slower with social media than it is with trading. You can day trade and get some momentum being built by day 3, right? Social media is going to take you longer to get that feedback that's going to keep you going. But this framework can be applied to everything. I've actually even got one for real estate that is going to be our next exploration after trading. We got social media, we got business, and real estate, investing in real estate. So, okay, say next. It's number 5. Where you can essentially take that same crowdsourcing small cash amount and invest in real estate. Down the road, I'm not going to get to it, not going to say anything more about it. But anyone can learn this, guys. Anyone can cook, anyone can trade, anyone can do all of these things. So if you could apply these methods so that you didn't crumble, you didn't fall apart, you could apply it to your trading. Would it make a difference? Would it strengthen your trading? Would it strengthen your family? Apply it to your social media platforms. You've seen me. I'm on YouTube. Got 358 subscribers. Started the year at 0. After 8 months, it's not great. It's not bad. I'm okay with it, right? But I recognize that it takes patience and discipline, right? And a lot of hard work. If you apply it to your investing, again, I've got some things I can show you later on. Apply it to starting a business. This is a little bit harder only because a lot of people struggle with trying to figure out what business they want to start. Buying real estate. Guys, there's only so much I can show you in an hour. And it's been 59 minutes and 55 seconds, right at an hour. So I'm going to show, if it's okay with you, and I spend 10 more minutes. I got people commenting in various different streams across my streams here. I think 5 minutes to show you what I'm talking about when I say we've got something for you. Does anybody object, or can I soldier on here? Just tell me a yes or a no. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna take a swig while somebody's commenting. I've changed this since last time. All right. Thank you, sir. So, and again, this is going to look like it's trading specific. And on the details, it is. But on the framework, on the fundamentals, on the what it is we're doing, it is absolutely universal. So I need to make that bigger because even my 50-year-old eyes can't see that. I should say my 50-year-old eyes can't. That's probably still too small. Let's try that. Okay. Our training session starts Sunday evening at 6 to 7 p.m. sometime somewhere in that neighborhood, depending on your time zone. We're going to spend the first 4 weeks doing the thing that I wish someone had done for me, which is Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, and what was his name? Daniel. And the first thing he had him do is, I think wax on, wax off was last. I think the first thing was sand the floor, then paint the walls, all of that. And it's like, can we just get to the slappy, punchy parts? So many courses that I took when I was getting started, I was like, can we just, we just jumped right into the clickety. Buy, sell. Don't worry about. We're going to spend 4 weeks focusing on getting your mind right for laying a foundation, being prepared for what's about to happen. I was so totally unprepared for what was about to happen to me. Right? I fell into that hole that someone had to pull me out of because I was unprepared. It's not their fault. uh, nobody on social media can be successful by saying, hey, take my course. It's going to take you a year and we're not going to get to the good part for 3 months. And we're going to focus on all the stuff no one talks about. People want clicks. I understand. We're going to spend 4 weeks just on mindset training. Proving to you, no, take that back. Showing you how to prove to yourself, helping you develop the belief, the trust, the faith that what you're doing is necessary, that it's going to work. Again, apply it to trading. Yes, it will work. Apply it to real estate. Yes, it will work. Apply it to starting a business. Oh my goodness, it will work and you're going to be tested. And most importantly there, guys, is you are not alone in this. We are all in this together. And that's why I am here. It's why we here at Godly Trading are here to support you in this. I mean, mindset training by itself is worth a lot. I have taken courses myself that are more valuable than this. After that, yes, we do get to the clickety-clicketies. But it's not like you think, right? We're going to teach you, take it back. We're going to show you how to learn on your own what it takes to be a successful trader, how to research the different markets. And I could take that sentence I just said, how to research the different markets. Could I apply that to real estate? Absolutely. I spent 3 or 4 months last year researching the Mississippi Gulf Coast, an incredibly undervalued market, but I'm not going to get sidetracked. How to research the markets to find what fits you, to make sure that what you're doing in that skills mastery stands on the foundation that we built in the path to faith. It doesn't run afoul of it, so that you're not making yourself miserable, making your family miserable. Does anybody think that on that ride to work when I was so miserable, that perhaps my family already knew I was miserable? I don't want to talk about it. Move right along. We're going to spend 4 weeks on showing you how to build your own system that you can rely on. Someone help me here because I'm about to mangle a fantastic verse. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Is that correct? I believe that is correct. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, right? The evidence of things not seen. That is trading in a nutshell. We're going to develop a system. We're going to test it. We're going to stand firm on what we have done. We're going to hope for the substance of things hoped for. And we're going to use evidence that we have not seen to move forward. And that is absolutely the same that we would do if we were buying real estate, if we were opening a business, if we were, I mean, can you imagine opening a restaurant these days? Can you imagine owning a restaurant during COVID? Oh my goodness. I don't know how anyone survived. We're going to spend 4 weeks just on this. And you think, well, shouldn't all of it be? This is the jumping off point. Trading training, it's hard to say, is far and wide. And I have paid for courses that were more expensive than this. This is the value, spoiler alert, not the price. You see the total value there of these two combined. And then this is the piece that is missing everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I don't just mean in trading. I don't just mean in business. I mean in our lives. This connectedness of being a group that holds one another accountable. Iron sharpens iron, it says in the Bible. Paul says we are to bear one another's burdens. By the way, I'm not actually referring to this Paul. I'm talking about St. Paul. I don't know if anybody got that confused there. I mean, I'm sure Paul is a saint to his family, but I'm talking about the Apostle Paul. Paul says we're to bear one another's burden, and that is what we are here to do. We are step one, and I've done this with some of you already. Have a one-on-one call. Where are you? Where do you want to go? Okay. What does more? Hang on. What does more look like to you? When you say, I want more for my family, what do you mean? Let us plant a flag on the hill and say that is success and we're aiming for that spot. We're going to use our road and our roadmap and our purpose to get there. What does that look like? So we know when we've gotten there. Is it actually, hey guys, we're going to go on a trip around the world. Y'all go pack. Or is it, hey honey, guess what? You can quit your job today. Or is it, hey, Mary Sue, by the way, you're getting married in 20 years and your wedding money is in the bank already, right? We're going to figure out what success means to you. And then we're going to hold one another accountable in group sessions, group therapy, for lack of a better term, with all the homework that goes into that. And then lastly, after we're done, there's still ongoing support. I'm not just going to say, hey, you've learned, good luck. It's constant check-ins. How are you doing? Not just how has your trading been going, or how's the search for the next duplex going. How are you doing? How is what you're doing affecting your family? How is what you're doing affecting you? How's it affecting your walk with God? Those things. You get a whole year access to the community and everybody else. And when I say everybody else, guys, you're going to learn so much from each other, learn more from each other than you ever will from me. Lastly, and this is probably gonna stay for a little bit, fast action bonus. There's a course that no one's ready for just yet, probably, on how to build your own trading algorithm. I mentioned at the beginning, I'm not even going to touch on it. When I sat down and mapped this out, I had two choices. I could say, okay, I can make this as low as price as possible. I can make it free for everybody. And honestly, free, everyone gets what they pay for. We went on a cruise recently, and I had onboard credit. It was $150 of onboard credit because I own some stock in Carnival Cruise Lines, and they give you money for that and other things. Anyway, we're trying to figure out some ways we can spend it. And then the last day showed that we had like $75 left or $60. I forget what it was. And I said, it was just, Monopoly money anyway. It was free money, but because I didn't earn it, because it had no connection to me, because it didn't hurt me at all to spend it, let me put that up there because that's funny. It does, absolutely. Because I had no connection to it, I just left it there. Now, fortunately, Carnival mailed me a check. I didn't know they would do that. But unless you are invested in something, I could give everybody a free whatever, and they may or may not ever use it. But once you're invested in something, that's when you hold yourself accountable. So I had two choices. I could make it free or really low cost, or I could charge a little more for it, but make sure that I could offer what people need, right? If I made it $1 a month, I'd have 500 people there. Well, I can't do 500 one-on-one calls. I can't have 500 people in a Zoom room trying to have a group session. So we've adjusted the price since last time because the world is a slightly different place than it was, and there's more opportunities. So would it have been worth the $7,400 if I could jump in the TARDIS and go back in time and tell myself back then, hey, 5 years ago, you're going to learn these skills in trading, and miraculously your skills at trading are going to carry over into, yes, you want to own some real estate. Yes, you want to do long-term investing. Yes, you want to start a business or two or three. Would $7,400 been worth one time? And then for the rest of my life, I've got all this. Absolutely. I wish I had jumped in the TARDIS to myself 20 years ago. But good news is $297 a year. Dropped it down to less than, I can't do that math. Whatever that math is, that's how much I've dropped it down. $297 a year, or it's $37 a month. Now, with that, you get everything we've talked about, and the training classes for this start Sunday night. My face is in front of the thing there that you need to see. So the website here to sign up for this, if you would like to, godlytrading.com/special. Why is it called special? Because anybody who signs up tonight and anybody who does this thing with social media that some of you have already done, you get a free month. The first month is completely on me. There's no cost to you whatsoever. There's no obligation. Absolutely, you get a 1 month free trial. So the regular website, godlytrading.com/pro, has the regular price for you guys and for anybody for the next probably for the first month, right? We want everybody in that first class to be on equal footing. Go to godlytrading.com/special. You get the first month completely free, and you can start on Sunday night. There will be replays if you can't make it, if you're at work, if you're at church, if you are in the hospital, whatever it is. There's going to be replays for it. We're going to have group discussion time in the training, and we're going to have an alternate group discussion time only not an extra training because you can watch the replay to get the training during the course of the week, probably on a Thursday. So that's going to be the makeup of it. Sunday night training and then discussion. And how are we doing? And then for those of you who can't be there live, watch the training on demand. And then like on a Thursday or a Friday, we'll get together with the alternate group for discussion and the how we're doing. So I honestly, I don't know why anybody wouldn't jump at it. 1 month's free trial. And they say, well, how do I get this? You can sign up for it tonight. If you will do one thing for me, well, I guess you can sign up for it anyway because now you got the website. Just change the instructions from the webinar page leading to this. You'll just change your logo on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, to my Godly Trading logo. Boom, 1 free month trial. And just send me a screenshot of it. Just leave it there for a week or whatever, just to help spread the word of what we're doing here. Some question. Anybody have any questions before I go any further? I got the prize giveaway to do yet. Some questions that I have heard in the past are, okay, these things you've mentioned: trading, investing, starting a business, real estate. These all take lots of money, right? Once upon a time, yes. Once upon a time, you could not even touch investing without enough money for 100 shares of whatever stock it was, right? And even if it's a $5 stock, that's $500. You couldn't get near investing in real estate without a credit score and a bank loan and all of that. Times have changed. For trading specifically, no, you don't need any money to develop the skills. You need almost no money to get started trading real money, right? Now, maybe you're only trading $1, you're earning $1, but big deal. Guys, you have no idea the money that is floating out there just waiting for someone to show up with mastery of their skill. If you can show a 20% return year over year with only 5% drawdown, even if it's on a $100 account, there are people out there with millions of dollars who will say, here, take my money and trade it, please. We'll get there. But no, absolutely, you don't need a lot or even any to get started with trading. Don't want to get sidetracked. I have got opportunities to show you that I've discovered, that I found, that I'm participating in on doing this kind of the same thing with real estate. Small crowdsourced real estate funds. There's not a fund. I'm not going to get sidetracked. I'm not going to talk about it tonight. The answer to the question is, do I need lots of money? No. Is trading gambling? Trading is not gambling any more than buying real estate is gambling. Any more than moving to a new city to take a job that you don't know you're going to have in 3 months is gambling. Anything in life where money is put at risk is gambling if you don't know what you're doing and you haven't put any thought into it. Trading is not gambling. Main question I get is, what if I start it and I don't like it and it's not for me? Can I get my money back? Well, for the next month, I'll give you 5 times your money back. 5 times 0 is still 0, right? Yes. So absolutely, if you have paid money and you get into your first week and say, I'm not ready, this isn't for me, this is more than I want, this is I just want to sit there with the milkshake and the remote control. Yes, you can absolutely get your money back. I got no problem with that. I don't want anybody saying Pepper took my money and I didn't get anything out of it. So with that, unless anybody has any other specific questions, we're going to get to the prize giveaway, and I'm going to do my best to make this tool that my streaming software has work. All right. So I'm not going to show it because last time I did that, bad things happened. We'll click the button that says draw, and it's going to cycle through a whole bunch of people. And actually, we have 2 names to give away, 2 things to give away. And this one is for Kyle. Wins the, goodness, where'd my mouse go? Kyle wins the really, really, really cool multi-tool that is incredibly sharp because I already cut myself with it. And I'll be shipping this to you. I already have your address. I'll be shipping this out to you hopefully tomorrow. Now, we got another prize to give away, which is either, and Kyle, I spoke for you because I know the answer to this, either the Yeti mug with my fantastic logo on it that says Trading Fuel on the back of it, or I actually bought 2 of these because you can never buy just one. So whoever wins this one has their choice. All right, let's try that again. And draw again. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And click, 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 click. It's going to be Harry. Harry, you have won your choice of either the Yeti mug or the multi-tool, the incredibly sharp multi-tool. So if you will just, if you're still here, Harry, if you will just put in the chat or email me which of these 2 you would like, I'll be happy to get. Now, I'm probably still going to always do a giveaway because I love doing them. And it's a good excuse to go to Harbor Freight. Does anybody object to tools? Because I just love tools. I just absolutely, I love Harbor Freight. I know, I have a sickness. I have a problem. Harry, you may have disappeared on us. I will reach out to you on email and or some method and discover which of these 2 you want and send. Oh, yes, he would say the multi-tool. Fantastic. All right, I'll ship both of those out and go buy myself another one. And guys, so just want to remind you, the train is leaving the station Sunday night. So I would encourage everybody out there. It's not going to cost you a dime. Go to godlytrading.com/special. Sign up. Come to the class Sunday night. Hear what we have to say. Hear what we're talking about. You got 4 weeks before you have to decide whether you want to pay money, whether this is worth $37. Guys, spoiler alert, it's worth $37. I mean, $37. Oh my goodness. I went to, what did I go to the other day? I went to Chick-fil-A. 3 of us. 2 salads, and my son got way too much food. And it was like $37 for 3 of us at Chick-fil-A. The Lord's chicken was so expensive. EST is probably going to be 7. Or it's either going to be 6 or 7 my time, which makes it either 7 or 8 Eastern. And I know, Kyle, you've got conflicts. If 7, we'll discuss it, right? I'm going to try my best to make it available for everybody. And I'm going to be sending emails out to everybody who signs up saying, hey, of these 3 hours, which one's best? Understanding that you've got the live training as well as the group session. And then for those who can't make it, you got the replay training and then an alternate group session. So we'll have 2 groups and we'll get together from time to time as one group. So guys, I would just encourage you. Yeah, sure. I want everybody, as many people in there as possible. Makes me feel good. But I just encourage everybody out there, go ahead and sign up. It's not going to cost you a dime. And I will give you back 200%, 2,000% of the money that you spend this coming month. So with that, guys, thank you for being here on a Thursday evening. I'm excited about this. As you can tell, I get kind of worked up about this. Thank you for being here. I will be back next Wednesday for our regularly scheduled Godly Trading Podcast, Bible Study for Traders. Sunday night starts our training session. I'm going to be doing another one of these intro webinars for people who've never heard of any of this, probably in 2 weeks. So I will be sending an email out to everybody saying, hey, if you have a friend, if you have a family member, if you want to come back for a refresher course, let them sign up for this. And I'll be giving away, let's call it referral bonuses for people who refer somebody that does a thing. All right. So with that, guys, thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and end it, and I will see you all Sunday night. Go sign up.